Let's see, is this one working? Hey, how you doing? I'm trying to get, it's my 10th broadcast. Trying to get my, there we go. How are you doing? Thank you so much for joining me. It's going to be, give me just 1 minute to get myself together. I'm in a new space. Hey Andrea, how are you doing? So Divine Magazine, is this your first day on Periscope? This is not your first day on Periscope. Why is it saying this is your first day on Periscope? I know it's been a long time since I've been on Periscope, but I know this is not your first time. Happy New Year to you as well. I know, it just said to tell me something about you being your first time on Periscope. I know that it's not. It's craziness. Well, it's so many things now that you can do on Periscope. It's been way too long. I'm kind of ashamed that I haven't been on here sooner. They have groups and things of that nature. What's that about? Cool beans. Well, I just want to jump on here really quick because I had just a few minutes before my next appointment. Hey Diane, let's see. Hey, thank you so much. You want to go live today too? I'm going to have to jump in and catch you. What time are you going live? Hey, thank you. And it's been too long. I know. I absolutely know. I'm going to be my goal for this year is to be more consistent. I started off last year really strong and kind of weeded out, but yeah, definitely going to be more consistent. And if you guys, today we're going to talk about 3 things I want you to know about protecting your brand. So if you know anybody that can use this content, then absolutely share it. Sometimes between 3 and 4 Eastern time, so 2 and 3 my time. Oh yeah, I can tune you in while I'm working. Got some other things to do, but I can absolutely tune, because you always give great content. So that's awesome. Thank you so much for the hearts. Thank you so much for the hearts. And so my name is LaKanya Murray. I am the small business attorney, and I help clients throughout the United States with trademarks, copyright, and business development solutions. Today is Thursday, and so I normally Periscope on Thursday. And I've been talking to a lot of people in the last few weeks, and we've had this consistent theme when it comes to trademarks and just protecting your brand in general. So I really just wanted to discuss that and let people know in general. Oh, and because this is the new year, before we jump into that, I want to let you guys know why I've been so busy. If you look behind me, you notice that the view is a little different. I have a new office. I've moved, yay! And I need 3 pieces of furniture that I'm on the hunt for. But I love my new office space. I will give you a tour later when it's cleaner. Well, it's not bad. I can give you a tour now. I can give you a tour now, which is kind of hard because I have like an iPad, anything. So, like behind me, you'll see it's kind of where I'm going to put the love seat and the couch, and I got to keep my mirror because I got to make sure that I'm looking fine and all that stuff. But just more space. That's a nice little area there. And then a recording room is through this door, which I will not open because it is the door of where everything is until I unpack. It is. It's a lot spacious, but I was in I've had my own practice, but I was renting a space from another attorney, and I just really wanted my own space because I felt like it was really necessary for the vision that God has given me for my business, that it's really necessary for me to have a bigger space so that I can grow and do more things. So I'm really excited. So with that being said, but the lighting in here is not as good as the other place. That is the only downside. The lighting is not as good, but we're going to work through it, okay? So what we're going to talk about today are 3 things that I want you guys to know about protecting your brand, and when it comes to protecting your brand. Because as I said before, I noticed that there is a theme when I talk to people on the phone, some things that they just don't know. I want to go ahead to discuss those things. The first thing I want you to know is that you have a common law interest in your trademarks. You have a common law interest, meaning that without any type of registration, you have, if you're using your mark to identify the source of your good or service, which is what trademarks protect. Trademarks protect brand identifiers. So if you're using your mark in association with goods or services that you are selling in commerce, which is from state to state, then you have a trademark. And you have a common law trademark, and your common law trademark can be used right there in your state where you are, because states also have trademarks. You just need to be in commerce if you're going to have a federal trademark. But if you have a mark that you're using in association with your brand, and it's used to identify the source of a good or a service, then you have a trademark. And that trademark is yours without any type of registration. There's absolutely some restrictions on it, which is why we recommend that you do federal registered trademark if you're going to help clients, or sell products throughout the United States or provide services throughout the United States. You want to have that federal protection. But one thing you want to do is just go ahead and use it. If you have a common law interest in it, so you don't have to register it. You don't have to be fearful that you need to register it. But your restrictions is that trademark is only going to be good for your geographical area that you are located. And then you won't have some of the statutory damages that come along with that. Okay? But that actually brings me to tip number 2. Tip number 2. If you do not use it, you lose it. Because trademarks protect the source of a good or a service. If you're not using it, if you're going to wait to make sure that you get it registered, to make sure that no one steals your trademark, you absolutely run the risk of someone beating you to the punch. Because if you don't use it, you don't have it. If you're not using it, then it's not identifying the source of anything. And if it's not identifying the source of anything, then there's no trademark. Does that make sense? So, I get that. I get that all the time. I'm just going to wait until I get it registered. I'm going to wait till I save my money up before I use my mark, because I don't want anyone to steal it. Well, this is the thing. If you don't use it, you don't have it. And if you don't have it, then you run the risk of someone beating you to the punch. And while they might not use your exact mark, they might use something similar. And trademarks prevent people from using marks that are confusingly similar to consumers. So that even though you might not have the exact mark, if they create something similar, now you're not going to be able to use your mark because you waited to use it. Don't wait to use it. Go ahead and do it. Let people, go ahead and start putting it on your products. But this is the thing about that. So if you have intentions to use your mark, you're in the development phase of building your business, and you want to use this, but you're just not ready to, then what you need to do is file an intent to use trademark application. That's an application with the USPTO's office that they allow for people who are not using their mark, because if you're not using it, remember, you don't have a trademark. But a USPTO allows you to submit an application saying that, hey, I'm not using this mark, but I have bona fide intentions to use this mark in the immediate future. So you go through the entire trademark process, and at the end, if your mark is approved, then you'll be allowed to submit a statement of use like 6 months after your application is approved, which basically at the end of the process, they're going to give you 6 months to submit proof that you're actually using your trademark like you told them you would. If you need more time, you can file an extension every 6 months up to 3 years. But what that does is allows you to build your business, build your brand in the way that you want to, without fear that someone else is going to steal your mark. Okay, so that's number 2. Number 3, which I should have made number 1 really, is that it is so important, it's extremely important to complete a trademark clearance search prior to committing and investing in a mark. And I just can't stress that enough. What often happens is that people get excited, they work with their graphic designer and their branding team to come up with this great brand, and then they they've spent money on it, they've starting to get cars, they're building websites, they're doing everything, and then they bring me in a few months down the road to do the trademark clearance and application. And there's sometimes where I have to say that I'm sorry, but your mark is infringing on someone else's, and that money has been wasted. And maybe it's something that we can fight, but in the long run, it's like going to the doctor. It's like going to the doctor. If you drink water, another New Year's thing that I'm trying to do is drink water. So if you drink water and you eat healthy and you exercise, your chances when you go to the doctor of needing some type of preventative procedure or medicine is going to be reduced, because you did what you had to do beforehand. But if you don't, if you're eating everything under the sun, all this fried food and stuff, you're going to be on cholesterol medicine. It's going to cost you money. You're going to have diabetes and things of that nature. So that's the same thing a trademark clearance search does. It saves you money. Working with an attorney beforehand or taking care of this type of business beforehand actually saves you money in the long run. Because maybe you were using the mark first, but they have a registration now, and now we have to fight in order to get you your proper standing. So those are the 3 things, and I'll go over them one more time because it's almost time for my appointment. Like I said, I just wanted to jump on really quick. The first thing was that you have a common law interest in your trademarks, so that means that you don't have to be fearful and wait for registration before you use it, which is point number 2. And the third thing is that trademark clearances are extremely important when you're building your brand. You want to do that in the beginning. You want to bring an attorney on your team in the beginning, not the end of the process, and not even the middle of the process. You want to bring us in while you're developing, so we can make sure that you are not infringing on anyone's trademark. All right? Well, that is all that I have, because I gotta get ready. People. But I will see you guys later. We're absolutely going to do this more often, and yeah, talk to you guys later. Maybe if I can remember how to turn it off. I don't know. Stop broadcast. Finish.